This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
You have a rich person's name. Like, you should be a billionaire with the name Winfield. Anyway, call me back, bro.
You know, I've thought that same thing. I thought, Corey Winfield, that's a billionaire's name. Thanks, Mom. I just need to work on getting the money to my account. I don't even need money. I just need numbers. Just put some numbers in there.
It does sound sophisticated.
Does it, Corey Winfield?
It does.
Well, welcome to the podcast. This is the 27th of August, the year is 2020. My name is the Corey Winfield. Billionaire.
I like it.
Yeah, thanks, Adam, for that intro. I was going through my voicemails the other day, and I was like, yeah, I'll make that an intro. Yeah.
You would.
Well. So, good day today. You're having a good day. I'm having a good day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Good day in recovery.
Mm-hmm.
It really was. So, some things have happened. I was going to talk about my blog on Thursday, but I had interviewed Jill Armijo. She's like, that's my name, like Army Ho. And I'm like, huh? And then her husband was in the Navy. So, it was a little awkward. Since I don't know, I guess that's her husband's name.
Well,
and
yeah.
she said that he dealt with a lot of crap about his name, especially being in the military, and not in the Army.
Mm-hmm.
His name being Armijo.
It's probably Armijo.
Yeah, Armijo. That's what I said.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Thought your headphones worked.
Oh, they do work.
Oh. Yeah, so it was a good interview. If you haven't listened to that, check it out. She was talking about her husband, and she wrote a book called Home of the Unknown Soldier. And when he came back from the Iraq War, different guy. And she's like, it was the same guy, but it had changed him. The things that he went through and saw, and just being away and on a ship. And yeah, some people are like, yeah, but he wasn't like shot at. And it doesn't matter. What affects people. And brought out a lot of things in him. And so she wrote a book about it, and it's very interesting, and you should listen to the interview.
Yeah.
She has some good points about, she said that we can be addicted to gossip. At first I was like, no, yeah, people can be.
Oh, yeah.
Anything to take the focus off of them and their problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I drank, to take the focus off of me and my problems and my feelings. So, yeah, it makes total sense.
Yeah, people feed off that stuff, and it's dramatic. It's just why people get addicted to different television series. They like the chaos and drama, reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make our own reality TV. He said, she said.
Are you for wanting to do that? Or?
No, I'm not. I'm just saying that's why people love gossip and, rumors, blah, blah, blah. Keeps things interesting.
Mm-hmm. Really does.
At the expense of others' feelings and reputation and so on. But, it happens.
So the reason why, when I finished that, then I was going to talk about my blog and how I wrote that. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to save that for Thursday. So I saved it for today. No, when I wrote my blog the other day, I had no idea what I was going to write about. But unlike some of the people that write blogs for us, I picked a day. I think I'm the only one who has a set day. And the only reason why I did that is because I know that's the only way I'll do it. Like if I just say, yeah, I'll do a blog, and then a month goes by and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get to that. So I went as far as to even call my blog Mondays. Because that's the day I'm doing it, Monday. Not the Corey Winfield Billionaire blog, just Mondays. Because that way, Mondays, I got to write a blog. And writing a blog isn't something that I'm used to. But what the hell, man? Might as well. Anna's writing them, you're writing them, Jay's writing them, a new guy, Aaron, he's writing them. Of course, I started before Aaron, but sitting down, and I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to write about. And I thought, well, let me just write about my week, and how I started school and, just blah, blah, blah stuff. And right when I sat down, start to write it, and then my friend Jamie calls. Jamie's been on the podcast before. And Jamie, up and downs, man. It's like most people in early recovery. He wants to stop, but he doesn't know what to do. And he calls me a sponsor. So I tell him, hey, man, you can call me whatever. Usually it's when it's too late, but here the phone's ringing. And I thought, oh, man, I'm about to write this freaking blog, but hello, hey, what's up, man? I'm sure I sound like a real jerk when I answer the phone. And he was pretty optimistic. And he's like, hey, man, I had a pretty good day today. Had a good day, first good day in months. He's going on to tell me about, this and that, and how he like freaks out when he's at a stoplight because he has a little white car. And see, Jamie used to have this and used to have that, a big truck and blah, blah, and now he's being humbled. Mm-hmm. I went through the same thing. A lot of us do. And Jamie, it's like, people are looking at me, man. I want to light. I just want to get out and beat their ass. And so he calls, I was like, well, what do you do when you get worked up? And he said he calls his girlfriend. And I was like, oh, that poor woman. She's like, oh, Jesus, Jamie, stop, And part of me just starts thinking, okay, Jamie, what else? Like, how are you going to tame those feelings on your own? And he's like, well, what do you mean?
Right.
So I was like, all right. And then he said, well, then after I called her, I went to call my mom to tell her about the good day I had. And, I pull up her name, and then I about to dial it. And, I realized my mom, she died years ago or whatever. And so that really hit home for me as Jamie being a person that doesn't have a lot of people in his life. Mm-hmm. And then he called me, after that, and I'm glad I answered. And, it wasn't a call for, well, Jamie, you should do this, or you should, it wasn't trying to be a recovery coach, or it wasn't time to give him advice. It was time to just pick up the phone, and say hello, mm-hmm. and tell him that's awesome that, he's had a good day. And then we made plans. I told him I'd be in Charlevoix for the meeting to have at the Ferry Beach Park. I was like, hey, man, Wednesday, what are you doing? He's like, well, I got a half day. I'm like, perfect. My friend George and I, the one that's not gay, not that it matters. He just wanted me to clarify that. But, I told him, I was like, we're going to be in Charlevoix. Once you come, we'll have dinner and this and that. And he's like, yeah. And then he tried to back out, though, when actually Wednesday came and we're there. And I'm like, hey, bud, where are you at? And, oh, I just got home from work. And, I'm like, oh, okay. I just thought at first, whatever, man. Full of excuses. And then George was like, tell him we'll be there in 10 minutes. I'm like, but we're not going to pick him up. He's like, but he doesn't know that. He'd think you're just around the corner. So I did. I'm like, hey, man, good. I figured you flake out. So we'll be there in 10 minutes. And he, what? Well, yeah, I guess. I mean, we can go, And I'm like, all right, cool. Meet us here. And so he did. And he showed up like 10, 15 minutes late, but that's not a problem. I mean, don't ever worry about showing up to an AA meeting late. I don't care if you catch the last 2 minutes of it. You're there for yourself. And people will understand, and who gives a hell what people think? Mm-hmm. You're there for yourself. And it was funny because Jamie came, he sat in the back, and he didn't want to talk. And they were doing the, after you speak, you pass it to somebody else. Well, I was getting down to the very end, and this other guy was passing, and Jamie was kind of sitting next to me, but in the back, and the guy's like, all right, I'm going to pass it to you. And he points, and Jamie kind of looks around, and you could see in his face he was praying that he was pointing to me, but mm-hmm. he wasn't. He was pointing at Jamie. Jamie was like, me? He was like, yeah, me or him? You? Me? All right. And he shared, but Jamie, in my opinion, it would do him so much to just go and go have a regular meeting and make friends, right after the meeting, because Jamie had shared he was in the military, and Tom, our friend, came up to him and was like, I was in the military too. And they started talking, and I could tell Jamie, he started loosening up a little bit. And that's, what he needs. And especially for someone who, doesn't have a lot of people, that could be a huge turning point for him, to get involved in meetings. And whether he works the steps, that's on him. But at least to get out and to be around good people in recovery. And I think that would do him so well. And I said to him, I was like, all right, man, so you're coming back, next week? I'm sure they have other meetings here. He's like, brother, that's 45 minutes away. And I was like, oh, yeah, because I didn't just come from Traverse City or anything. It's over an hour away. So I was like, yeah, man, your little 45 minutes isn't really worrying me. And then that's a good drive, I told him, too. You can get a lot out just in your head, just get it out just driving. I know I do. And I think that's something. And he brought his stupid little dog with him.
It's a service dog.
It pissed on my pillow twice in treatment, so still a little bitter. Or George Michael or whatever he calls it. Looks like a little rat. Anyway, so he could bring his little dog and just... Maybe that's why they were staring at you, Jamie, if you're listening.
Because you have a dog.
Man, little poodle dog. Come on, bro. No, but he can get his dog or whatever and just drive, 45 minutes and then drive home and reflect on the meeting and the things that were said. And, Jamie, if you ever make friends with people, maybe you can bring somebody to the meeting with you. The ride, it'll be fun then, and you'll be looking at it like it's a totally different thing. But I'm so proud of him for actually coming. And, one guy was actually talking at the meeting about excuses and how we always make excuses. And we sure didn't make excuses when we were drinking, except for why we can't do stuff, because we're already drinking. But when it came to getting the bottle, no, I was leaving work early. When I worked in Dallas, I was supposed to work till midnight, but I did my last break at 11:45. So when I hit fire and fired those commercials off on that last break, I was out the door, hit the elevator, parking garage, got in the car, vroom, could make it to the gas station just in time to buy some beer. Yeah, I would do that. And as crazy as that may sound, that's the way we think.
Yeah, that's
nothing's going to keep us from that beer. I'll leave work early. I don't care. It's so stupid, but that's where I was, and it is what it is. But so yeah, I wanted to talk about that, and I did. If you didn't read my blog, feel free. Obviously, it's called Mondays. It's at 217recovery.com. You have a special day coming up.
I do.
But see, all right, Marney is getting her year this weekend. And
it's not here yet.
No, it's not here yet. Well, your coin might be. But it's not here yet. But it's really 365 days for you is coming up on Saturday.
Yes.
But the 30th is your day
of the month that
yes.
I don't know. It's people do it differently. Some people don't even really keep track that closely to the point where they're like, I think I have a year around somewhere in, and they know like the month. But yeah.
Well, I think for you, sometimes you move it to September too.
No, it's
when
just
people ask, you're like, I think it's September 30th.
No, that's just because I was thinking about when I was in.
When you fell in love.
Rehab.
Oh.
Whoa.
Hey. But so I think we should just celebrate all weekend. And, the year thing is huge. And for you, now you can get into a relationship.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about that because, I already bought you the ring. No. And, people,
That's what I'm writing my blog about. So,
yeah,
it's a little preview, my blog, but I finish it up.
About finally getting the year and being able to get into a relationship, or?
It's, about that. Mm-hmm. I don't want to give it away, but yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and, if you're in early recovery, and my friend George, who's not gay, I mentioned him earlier, he was talking about how, he wants this and wants that, and we all do. We all want companionship, but he kind of passed a little test of his own where, he had been in treatment or whatever, and he got out and he was kind of lonely a little bit. And, some women called him like, hey, and he thought, man, that would be, a good time. And he's like, it could lead to drinking maybe, and maybe other things. And so he said no, but he was really doubting himself and just thought, man, I want this and that. But he's at the point now where, he's doing it for himself. A lot of people will say, oh man, I can't get into a relationship for a year. Screw that. Where he's just like, sure, a year. That's just a starting point. He's just not going to rush into anything. Like he could have went and hung